about the gun. You gotta make sure they know this ain't no toy. This will hurt you. This will kill you. See how it feel? This how it works. That way, when that kid see that gun, it's a nothing. It's a gun. They know exactly it's a gun.
Exactly. You can show them clippings,
right?
And, you know what I mean? YouTube videos and all type of stuff of showing kids like this is what the outcome is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because a gun can't just kill somebody sitting there.
Right.
It has to be a person behind it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whether it's an accident or, so lessons have to come in with children.
On every level.
On every level.
But sometimes you have to be friendly with the lesson.
Yeah.
Not
just rah.
Right.
Because a lot of times they might not be receiving it. Like you said, every child is different.
Yes. Some kids are shut down.
Yeah. Definitely.
Because I know I spent a lot of days in the closet crying. You know what I'm saying? Because, you wasn't even allowed to cry. You'll get your ass whooped for crying. So I'll go in the closet and hide and cry. But in my household, it was completely different because there was no friendship, between me and my mother. It was just me and my brother and my mother.
How we were raised is, I don't have to be your friend. You ain't gotta like me.
And that's exactly,
what I mean?
And it's what I say.
Bottom line, I put food on the table. You got lights. You got hot water. Clean clothes. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
We didn't have, that's what our parents always told me.
Right.
You don't have to like me because I'm not your motherfucking friend.
Right. Exactly. And what the crazy part about it was, she didn't have to like you neither.
Fair enough.
She just had to take care of you.
Period.
You know what I'm saying?
She did what she was supposed to do as a parent. Now, she might not have did the best job, but she did what she did with what she was working with. And that's it. That's all. And that's what a lot of kids fail to realize out here nowadays. You get what I mean? Now they feel like you're supposed to be their friend.
Right.
And that's not how that works.
Right.
A friendship is definitely earned. It's earned. It's not just given.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And as we grew up, as we became adults, we had to start deciphering for ourselves because we didn't get that type of love, from our parents as we felt like we should have. You get what I'm saying? So that's what we said when we had kids. I'm not going to treat my kids like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. But then you still learn, and you learn it yourself too, because excuse me, you have to learn to be patient with yourself too.
Exactly.
Exactly. So you're growing into parenthood just like they're growing into their childhood, and but there are certain things that we don't want to rob them of. And it's a lot of lessons that we are missing by not being friends with our kids. Like, this is not established like later on. This is the bond that you have while they're in your stomach.
Right.
You're developing and remember, like I said, a friendship is not necessarily that type of friendship. You have different type of friendship with different people.
Definitely.
Facts. My friendship with my boss is different than my friendship is with, a male person that I know, or, another male person, or, it's just, it's different type of friendships that you have, relationships that you have, and even with each child, you have different type of bonds and different friendships that you have with each child.
True.
And I don't think it's nothing wrong with sitting and conversating with your child as if you guys are friends. And this bond is developed up front. As soon as the child start talking, you're developing this bond and this friendship. And friendship is about bonding. Parenting is to teach but if you build this wall up from, because you don't want to cross it by being friends, it's so many lessons in between that can be lost.
Okay.
You know, because we're drawing this line, and we was raised that it's forbidden to be friends your child, because I'm not your friend. Right. And what's wrong with that? What's wrong with laughing together? You know, and just because we are friends and I befriended you and I bonded with you and that's what it is, doesn't mean that I'm not a parent to you. You know what I'm saying? Because any opportunity that rises that I have to, you know, jump in and be like, hey, listen, you know, maybe you want to think about how you doing that. Maybe, you know, and think about this and that before you make that decision, because, you know, this could happen.
Yeah, give them all the different angles of what could possibly come from that, you know, decision that they're getting ready to make.
Right. But if I've drawn a line on that communication altogether, my child might not even be comfortable enough to even come to me with the situation in the beginning. So therefore, I don't even have any input over anything in my child's life at this point when it comes to anything serious like that, because they're going to take those conversations to
elsewhere,
to their friends, to people that they're comfortable with having that conversation with, because they don't want to talk to you outside of
like, hey,
parent.
Have you told your mom or how you told your dad? I'm like, man, I can't tell them this shit.
Right.
You know, so you're right. You're right. You're so right.
And it's sad. And just like my daughter, my 16-year-old, she has a friend right now. And the friend, they don't identify as, you know, being a girl. They identify as being a boy.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Right.
So they don't like to be called he or she or her or nothing. They rather just be called they, them, or they'll take him. Right?
Right.
But this person, this child who should be free spirited and free minded, lives in a household where their parents don't accept it. Okay. So this child lives their life like a girl.
When she's
dressed
around
like
her parents.
A girl, always, because their parents don't know that that they just don't identify as a girl.
Wow.
So, and they're like 15, 16 years old.
That's unhealthy, though. That's so unhealthy.
Right.
You know, so I do get it when it comes to, you know, individuality for a person counts for a lot.
Right. And if we can't be open enough for our child to come to us when they're going through these different things in their life as they're growing as a person and who they are, you know, we should be the first person that they can come to us and explain to us how they feel on any level.
And they probably don't know. Either they feel like you're going to just disown them, or they don't feel you're going to understand. Now, I'll say this. If my child or one of my children came to me with it, it would just be like, okay. You know what I mean? This is how I feel. I feel like I don't agree with it. But if that's what you're choosing to do, especially if, you know, they're adults.
Right.
What can I say?
Right.
I could tell them straight up, like, look, okay, that's fair enough. Thank you for telling me.
Right.
But just know I don't agree with it. But as long as you're happy, then okay.
Well, this is my take on that, you know, and, you know, I have a daughter that's gay, and, you know, I don't have any problem with it. You know, I've grown to, you know, love her girlfriend as well. Right. As a matter of fact, they'll be getting married on her birthday next week. So shout out to my daughter and my new daughter-in-law.
Congrats.
But like I said, I couldn't imagine, it being in a situation where, if it's I understand an adult child, but even a child, a 16-year-old or a 13-year-old or a 10-year-old, not being able to have that open line of communication with you because that line was drawn a long time ago. Like this child, they're just completely, and I'm trying to use the right, term, but
yeah,
they're trapped in this world because the line was drawn like back when she was little, not to, be that way. So the friendship was there was no friendship. It's all parenting. It's all, listen, I said do this. You have to do this. You have to massage my feet every day.
Or it's just
you have to do this.
Sheer blindness. Sheer just blind. Oh no, they're not. They're not. It's not this. It's not that. You know what I mean? I've whole relatives like, yeah, that's what it is.
Right.
But let this person say it. No, they're not. And now got whole relationships with and open with it, and it's just like, why couldn't you see what we were all trying to share with you?
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, I don't know. I told you so, but just why couldn't you see?
Well, I think it goes past, just seeing, because you have to have the communication. You can't just, like, when I was younger, I dressed like a boy. I look like a boy, whatever.
I had my tomboyish.
Me and my brother wore the same clothes. So a lot of times we dressed alike. We were so close in age, it was like we was like twins. So we always wore the same outfits and stuff like that.
Right.
But I didn't, I wasn't into girls. It wasn't that I was gay or that I identified with being, a boy. It was just how I was comfortable dressing. And even still today, I like to layer,
There's nothing wrong with it.
And if something out, I want to layer with something else just to, to even it out a little bit.
Excuse me. I can dig it. Because, like I said, I went through the same phase. I like to wear, boxers.
Right.
I'm just comfortable in them. They're comfortable.
Right.
To wear it around the house. They're comfortable. So, I had my tomboy stages, too. And even still to this day, I'll still can dress down. I don't do it often. I'm very girly.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm very girly. But I had that too. It doesn't mean that I liked girls.
But I had to grow into that stage too, because you have to understand, I was taught don't have your ass out. Right. And don't do these type of things and do that and stuff like that. So no, I wasn't comfortable wearing dresses, none of that, because then I couldn't play like I wanted to play, because when I wore a dress, I had to sit down and keep my legs closed and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I couldn't do the shit that I like doing, and that's skateboarding and, you know what I'm saying, riding bikes, all that old shit that I used to do. I was roguish. But my friendship came from outside the house, and my brother was my best friend.
Okay.
And a lot of people think that just because you friends mean that you can't be other things too. You can. You can be my friend, my mother and my friend. You can be my sister and my friend. You can be my brother and my friend. You can be my lover and my friend. Right. You know what I'm saying?
It's a balance. It's a balance. It's all about the balance.
Right.
It is. The lessons that can be learned. You know what I mean? And that's how the friendship grows.
Right. Exactly.
With the lessons that come with all of...
And the love. The love for that person grows.
Right.
And, you learn a lot. You learn a lot about a person and how they think and how they feel.